Today I'm drawing Sosuke Aizen from Bleach using blue pen. I don't know if I pronounced the name properly. I start by laying out the overall proportions and head structures before moving into the facial features. This is doing the skeleton in terms of where I am in the video. Just doing the skeleton, aka stick figure with balls for joints. Then the idea of what the musculature would be over that. Then I start with the ear. If I don't, his hair's covering his ear, from what I can remember. So it started just with one side near that area, like a strand of hair, and then just build out same area. It's not even really about the body part. It's about I choose an area to start from because I'm doing it in pen, and like I was saying in prior videos, because there's an issue with making sure the face was always gonna be um, have the proper proportion to it, or I was making proportion mistakes in the face in some of the photos. So I figured if I start the photo after the skeleton structure and everything, what if I start in the face area and build out from a part of the face area, I can usually get the face proportions correct, which is important because most of most of these sketches I'm doing is the face is the focal point. It's usually upper body or mugshot. Could be full body, but like it usually the face is pretty much always included in these sketches I do. So and it being the focal point, trying to make sure I get it correct. So I start there, then build out higher or lower, but just making sure I'm getting everything proportionally correct to in accordance to what I've drawn so far, basically. So just bridging the gap between every part of the photo, starting from the face, and making sure that if there's some type of proportional alignment with the face itself, or in relation to where parts of things are on the face, I'm lining those up immediately. And then because all those are lined up properly, it helps me line up everything else properly as I branch out further. As I'm branching out into further things from things that are already lined up properly, right? And then all of a sudden, like my ability to make sure everything is proportioned correctly just improves more over time as I'm deliberately finding a way to practice that. Even in pen, where I only get one try to draw it, like just there's things that are helping me to be able to do it properly, that I've found works for me. Um, and I wouldn't tell people, like I've said before, they don't have to start at the face and build out from there. They might not have trouble drawing the face. They might just be fine starting from anywhere. Maybe they're doing full body photos and they might have an issue with how they're doing proportions from what they're seeing. Like that's for them to, try and figure out if they want to improve, or if they're noticing that there's maybe something that coming out the way that they specifically want. That's really, up to them to see that, and if they choose to correct it, right? And if they see that, oh, maybe they don't get maybe they get everything proportional with the feet. Maybe they should start with the feet and branch out. Who knows, right? Maybe it's somewhere else in the body, and it doesn't mean they have to start there, but it means that they should be very, very careful when they're in that area and the areas around it. And I just found that the best way to be careful about an area is to actually start there and try to get that correct first, so that if I, like, for example, some of the reasons that the face was not coming out right was I might start at another part of the body, and by the time I get to the face, like, there's things out of proportion, so the face isn't even starting where it should. And then, or let's say I got like parts of the neck and maybe some parts of the face and some parts of the hair, but by the time I get like the other part of the face, it doesn't fit in the place properly that I had left to draw the face, because I got things around it correct, but those things, there's something wrong with the proportion around those things, so that I couldn't get that remaining part of the face correct. Like I might not have left enough room for it, or I might have left too much room for it. So then it would cause the face to be out of proportion. So I just find, like I said, I just carefully get it correctly by starting there first and trying to get not maybe even all of it, but enough of it so that if there's anything I even have to come back to in the face, it's already set up so that I can just easily draw it in, as I've already made sure that there's room for it and everything around it is lined up correctly so it can just fit in there perfectly, right? Or that's at least the strategy I figured out that works for me, especially doing in pen. So it's like, if pen is considered challenge running in a way, because you're not erasing, regardless of what level you are, you're just not erasing and trying to get the sketch correct. What are things you can do to assist you to get it correct every single time, to the point where, in some prior month, quite a few months prior, there was times that I I was sitting down to do a piece, and I might mess up proportions so much that I could have finished it, and I should have. As a matter of fact, I go back and finish those or whatever. A lot of the time, right? If there was some very, very time crunch phases, finish it just to like get the full repetition in of, even though this didn't even come out right, can't erase it, it was in pen. Just finish it anyway so that you're trying to even get it correct, and you're getting a full repetition of whatever it is you're trying to draw. Then I go back and do it again, and it might take me the second attempt, or it might take three or even like four attempts or whatever. Could have been more, but like luckily kind of cap off at like around four attempts in some of like the worst um mistake phases I'd have. And uh and those mistakes was literally because of like facial proportion mistakes going on. Literally, something would be way too off, didn't bridge the gap properly, didn't set things up in such a manner that I could continue to build out properly and have everything look proper and in alignment based on a reference that I was using, right? So, but what I found is, ever since I fixed that by literally, so here's like the main idea I'm trying to kind of get across, and why I'm actually repeatedly saying this in every video, and I'm actually repeatedly saying this like right now. I never even really spoke on why. Literally, as you can see now, I put out sketches very, very consistently, and one of the reasons why I put them out consistently, even though they're in pen, is because I'm not making those proportion mistakes anymore. So what happens is, there was a phase where I wasn't putting things out consistently because it just didn't have much time to draw for some phases. But there was phases that I wasn't putting things out consistently because I could have put something out, but I had to redraw the thing up to like four times. So then you're not seeing me put out art, because I'm literally only have so much time to do art per day, and then all that time is being used to redraw something, and not posting the things that not posting all the redraws, only reposting the final one that I got correct, right? So literally, for me to even put out content consistently, I had to fix the facial proportions, because not fixing it would so let's say it could take me over an hour to, I say, could be up to like 3 or 4 hours to finish a sketch, right? What happens is, it's kind of it's not really up to 4 hours anymore because my level of skill is increased enough that I can knock out something much faster, and I'm also not shading, which is saves time as well, whatever. So I'll try to make sure it's detailed and have the outline of an area that needs to be that would have been shaded or whatever, so you're aware of where that is without me even having the shade, add in details, whatever, textures, whatever. But what happens is literally me not having to redraw it because I literally figured out I need to get my faces correct. I need to start somewhere in the face. I chose an ear, right? And then just make sure I get that correct every time. Literally doing that has saved me time to where it's I don't know how much of it's a main factor that I can put out art consistently now, but from me not putting out any phase that I was not putting out art because I had to redraw, I've literally eliminated that. So now I've basically gotten every single sketch I've done on the first try since that phase many months ago. So literally since that phase, if I wasn't putting out art, I was just actually so busy I couldn't actually didn't have time to draw and then record videos and then put and post stuff, right? Literally there just wasn't time in the day for that for whatever reason. So what happens is so literally me not putting out art because I was making mistakes because I'm doing it in pen, which is funny, right? So if I make a mistake, do it in pen, I want to post something that at least maybe my level of skill needs to increase, but at least I'd finish it the way I'd like to without mistakes, right? Quote unquote. Literally, me being able to finish a photo was completely dependent on me getting the facial proportions correct, literally. So, me starting from the ear and carefully getting the face correct has resulted in me pretty much immediately finishing every sketch I do on the first try. So then it gets to the point where I could go if I literally have 2 hours a day, I could put out a piece. I could literally post to Instagram daily, and my art YouTube posting schedule is different. I spread those out for phases, or I could go daily and spread those out. But I have my specific planning of how I'll do that. But what happens is I could post literally every single day if I want because I fixed that issue. So that's like when I'm talking about why I do something and I repeat it a lot of times, I don't really go into detail why, but for example, me fixing that was the reason I could post consistently, which means now my whatever if I was trying to do everything I could to for example, put out as much content as possible and grow my social media page as much as possible, I eliminated the only reason why I wouldn't be able to do that. So if the reason I wouldn't be able to do that is because I couldn't put content out because I literally was making so many mistakes that I wouldn't even have had after 4 hours worth of mistakes. That might have pushed so many things back that I can't put out art for like the next few days, right? So what happens is um that's the importance of it. I literally it forced me to actually get so good at something that I don't make that mistake anymore. So like even if I wasn't trying to focus on doing the face first anymore, I probably still knock out probably a very very high percentage of sketches on the first try. Cause like what happens is like I was getting that correct, but my overall skill also increased obviously as well. So everything just got cleaned up enough that now what something that was an issue that actually created a bottleneck in how much I could output art. I completely obliterated that to where even if it's still a problem, I probably still draw something good enough that I could just I say, oh, like maybe I was off here or there, but it's good enough. But that's the reason why I focus on it. I, like a surgeon or like a whatever you want to call it. Like I noticed there's a specific issue. That issue was actually very big to the point where it was literally halting my ability to post content literally if that's something I'm trying to do. So I was like, how can I fix this immediately? And literally me focusing on this exact thing that I was having a problem with and carefully trying to get it correct. As with as much baby stepping as possible, like drawing only a few inches out to bridge the gap further into the next area of the sketch, or the face, or the face into the neck, or the face into the, like literally whatever I had to do to get that correct, like literally baby stepping myself through it, that I eventually then completely destroyed that issue, and then it's resulted in me being able to post every single day as long as I have like a few hours to draw every day. If I have a few hours to draw, there's no excuse as to why I couldn't, unless I literally didn't have the time because I was like not even at my house or something like that, right? Like, or too busy. So that's the reason why I rehashed that so many times. If whatever it is that you're trying to get better at, or where you think you might have there's an issue with something, like actually face that thing immediately and just try to like literally, I'll put it like this, right? People say, is there sayings like, oh, you're only as strong as your weakest link, or they'll say something like if you're um they'll say something like, oh, like you should, if you have weaknesses, only focus on your strength. Well, when it comes to a specific thing you're doing, like if you're gonna be an artist, yeah, you could niche down on a part of art, but like what, that niche part of art you're doing, you need to actually master it. So like if I'm not a painter, but I sketch art, right? I sketch things. So whatever it is I'm choosing to sketch, whether it's face or full body or whatever, I need to master everything about that. Like I'm like uh if my objective is to sketch, I need to, yeah, I'm not doing other parts of art right now. I'm not being a painter, I'm not coloring, I'm not even really shading, but I need to get correct what it is I'm trying to do. And there's gonna be weak links or things that are ahead of others, and I need to get them all up to speed. So how can I do that? Well, if I see that something's like lagging behind, then I need to, or something is lagging behind to the point where is literally costing me a serious amount of time and halting my progress with everything, including even posting. Well, I can just focus exactly on that, while still doing everything else. I'm literally making that, like, that's, let's say that's the hardest thing for me to do, because that's actually where all the mistakes is being made. I'm literally addressing that first in every sketch. The thing that is causing me to having to repeat sketches so many times that it's taken over 4 hours to draw just one thing, because and when it should have taken around an hour or whatever. Let me just focus on the exact thing that is destroying my ability to even make any progress in this at all, and face it first. Face the exact thing that's like literally halting everything. And I'm saying this because now, months later, you guys have seen me post literally daily, and it's because I literally demolished that issue basically by facing it. So all me repeating that over and over again, just to say, like, the main idea, aside from like me giving a detailed explanation on how I like corrected the issue, I literally face the exact issue until it's not an issue anymore basically. um and if there's something that you're trying to be better at, like, it's really up to you, but the if you want to be better at it sooner, might address the things immediately. um if I didn't address that immediately, I'd get better at being able to post more consistently and finish things more often, but that would have taken way longer. Like, it stopped being more than like two tries, to the point where I get it on the first try, maybe within a span of like maybe 2 weeks after that happened. So, but it was 2 weeks straight at every single sketch. It could have been multiple sketches a day. Like, focus on the exact thing that I'm not getting correct to the point where it's destroying the entire sketch. Just do that immediately, basically. And that's all I'm really saying. Face the thing that, face it. Doesn't matter whether how you feel about it. If this is going to be something you want to do, it's better that you do everything you can to, and not rushing, but like, oh, every time I sit down to do this, I need to, let's focus on what I can't do properly with this and make it something that becomes proper to the point where it's even a strength. Because what happens is I'm literally drawing characters that it's going to be their face in every single photo, and I can't really afford to mess up with the face anymore, because what happens is like it's literally going to be in every photo, and if I mess up with it, I could choose to draw a sketch that's completely distorted and out of alignment because I can't erase and I didn't pen, or I can choose to get the face correct and post something every single day, or I could choose to not post for days because I don't have anything to post because I kept making a mistake. Nope, let's just fix it immediately. I didn't know how long it was gonna take, but I was like, I need to focus on it, and that's how that's consistent with everything, any sport, any skill I've developed, anything, any type of thing that I couldn't do properly, I literally focus on the exact thing that was a weakness until it became like literally an accidental strength, or I pretty much focus on it to the point where I didn't need it to even be get to a certain level, but I got way past that level because I just overly tried to make sure like it's not like it's not gonna be a problem for me anymore. So it was through brutal effort to fix something that I'd end up fixing it, and I wouldn't care how long it took. I was just like, look, if this is the thing I have to do, I have to address what's wrong, because if I don't address what's wrong, then I can only blame myself if I don't have the result I want, right? So I just take full responsibility for where I want to be. Oh, I want to be here with this thing, then what am I going to do about it? I need to actually take myself there. I could try to logically think of a way, or I could look it up, whatever. I just need to do this, because if I don't do it, then I can blame myself as to why I can't post content, why my art's not coming out the way I wanted to, or why I'm not even making the level of progress I want to make. So that, it's really your choice, but you have to consciously make a decision if you want certain types of results. So Aizen's calm expression is one of the most important parts of the design. So I spent extra time refining the eyes and overall face shape. Next, I work on the hair and glasses before mixing into the robe and sword. As the sketch develops, I strengthen the important parts and adjust proportions where needed. Overall, I'm happy with how the drawing turned out, and I think it captures Aizen's calm, confident personality. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next sketch.